Hey everyone, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. I just finished my meal plan for this week. I've been trying to use things that I have on hand. I made a little bit of a grocery list. I'm going to head to the store and get this done first thing this morning. We just got back from the store and I shopped my pantry, my vegetable bin, and my freezer this week. So it's a pretty small haul. I did get some 4 pounds of lemons, bananas, and this beautiful Easter lily. It's getting ready to bloom. Gorgeous. For fresh herbs, I picked up some rosemary, tarragon, flat leaf parsley, and cilantro. And I found this beautiful heirloom tomato. It looks so gorgeous. I got some smaller tomatoes. I have some in my bin. I'm going to stuff those and serve that with lamb this week. I wanted to find some Gruyere cheese. My store didn't have it, so I thought Fontina cheese might be a great alternative to use in the stuffing. Picked up the boys and Ken some salami. You know, they're the cracker guys. They love cheese and crackers and fruit and salami for a snack. I did pick up another leg of lamb. It was $2.99 a pound. It was a great price. That's going in the freezer. This week I'm going to serve this boneless leg of lamb. It was a little more pricey, $3.99 a pound. Still a great price, and have that this week. Now I wanted to find some dried cannellini beans, but my store only had the canned ones. I have a recipe for a traditional bean casserole that goes with the lamb. I'm going to make that. I found a new recipe this week in the Taste of Home. They had a contest and it was the award-winning casserole. It reminds me of like a take on Chicken Divine, but it's a little different. Anyway, I needed to get some chicken stuffing and some broccoli cheese condensed soup, and I'm going to give it a try. The reviews were outstanding and it looks really easy, super simple. So I'm going to try that this week. I did pick up a couple of beef broths. And that was it. That was our haul. Monday we're having leg of lamb, and if you've never tried to cook it, don't be intimidated because it's really super easy. For dinner tonight we're having leg of lamb. It's one of the easiest dinners you can fix. Let me show you how I do it. I'm getting ready to make a leg of lamb. This is just a little over 3 pounds. I'm going to make like little slits and put slivers of garlic in there. And then I'm also going to put pieces of rosemary and try to get them in so they don't burn. You want to tuck them in the best you can. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put garlic and then rosemary. Garlic, rosemary, and just stud this whole leg of lamb. Now that it's all studded with the garlic and rosemary, I'm just going to drizzle maybe a tablespoon of olive oil over the top. Give it a little massage. And then season it with salt and pepper. I'm going to put this in a preheated 400-degree oven, and it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. I'll start checking it around that time. So this is the chart that I use. If you want it rare, take it out when it gets to 130, 135, and then let it rest a little bit. If you want it medium rare, 135 to 140, the internal temperature, remove it from the oven, let it rest. Medium, 150 to 155. Remove it from the oven for medium. And then if you want well done, 160 to 165 internal temp, remove it from the oven, let it rest. So there's the chart that I use. In my baking dish, I have 3 15-ounce cans of cannellini beans. I rinsed and drained them. I minced 1 shallot. I chopped up a couple of tablespoons of parsley, the flat leaf parsley, and I'm just grating in some 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil, salt and pepper, so easy. Give it a big stir. I'm going to put this in the oven the last 30 minutes or so. Cook it with the lamb. So easy. In my bowl, I have the pulp of those 4 tomatoes, about a 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, an 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper, 3 cloves of garlic. They were kind of small, so you could use like 2 large ones or 3 small ones, and I grated those. A couple tablespoons of minced parsley. I'm going to get this all mixed together. Make like a little filling. I like adding a couple of tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to also add about a teaspoon of olive oil. Perfect. And then I'm just going to put this in the oven 15 minutes before the lamb's done. The lamb is cooking away in the oven. Super easy. The beans are ready to go in the oven 30 minutes out. 15 minutes later, we'll throw the tomatoes, the stuffed tomatoes in. And about 5 minutes before the lamb is done, we'll steam up these asparagus spears. Super easy dinner. I took it out. The internal temperature is 140. I'm going to tent this with some aluminum foil and let it rest for a few minutes. So here's the leg of lamb. I serve it with mint jelly, the bean casserole, the stuffed tomatoes, and some asparagus. Tuesday I'm making steak Diane with a mushroom brandied sauce, Hasselback potatoes, and a veggie medley. To stick on plan, I'm going to eat the steak and just a little bit of the sauce because it's pretty high in fat. Forgo the potatoes and stock up on the veggies. For dinner, we're making steak Diane, some Hasselback potatoes, and some mixed veggies. In my pan, I have some garlic butter heating up. I'm going to take some fillets that I've salt and peppered and dredged in some flour. I'm going to do them in batches so that they don't crowd the pan too much. All right, we're just going to get a nice color and then flip them. I'm going to go ahead and start searing them off on the sides. It's a pretty thick cut of meat, so it's going to withstand all the searing. After you get a good sear on all sides, go ahead and take your steaks out and put them on a sheet tray, and we're going to make the sauce. This garlic butter has garlic and shallots, all kinds of good stuff in there. Okay, in with 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. We'll let those saute for a few minutes. Now that the mushrooms have cooked for a few minutes, I'm turning off the heat to the burner, adding about a half a cup of brandy. I'm going to use a wooden spoon to kind of deglaze the bottom of the pan. I'm going to let all the alcohol burn off, turn the heat back on, and using a flat wooden spoon, go ahead and get all the bits up from the bottom of the pan. There's so much flavor right there. Next, we're going to add some beef stock. I'm going to let this simmer for a few minutes. That's probably like maybe a 3/4 of a cup, 2/3 of a cup, something like that. Keep working on those bits because that's where all the flavor is. Okay, just let these simmer for a few minutes. Steak Diane is a little bit different than steak au poivre. It has a little bit of Dijon mustard in it, like a teaspoon or so. And you just want to kind of work it in to the stock. Make sure it's blended. I'm going in with a cup of heavy cream. This is some of that Trader Joe's shelf-stable whipping cream. We're going to bring this to a simmer and let this reduce. Now that the sauce is reduced quite a bit, I'm going to put the steaks back in so they can warm through. Any of the pan drippings put back in here too. I went ahead and turned the steaks one time. I'm going to let them go for maybe 2 minutes on this side, and then we'll plate it up. Just add a little bit of the mushroom sauce to the top. I'm serving it with those Hasselback potatoes and some mixed veggies. And I'm just not going to have the potatoes because I know this is a little bit higher in points, the sauce. And that is Steak Diane. Wednesday we're having black bean soup and a simple salad. I'll link the Cook With Me video on this. It was excellent. This is a keeper. To serve the soup, I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of sour cream and a little bit of green onion that I sliced. And right on top I'm going to add a shrimp. I sauteed it in a little bit of garlic butter. Along with the black bean soup, I'm serving it with just a very simple side salad. Some of you have asked how our arrow garden is working out. All of the lettuce was harvested from our arrow garden. I'm going to harvest some lettuce from our arrow garden. We got this several months ago, and it's just been wonderful, especially in the winter time here. This one here is just basically all lettuce. I do have some basil, and you just come in here and you just pinch it off, and the more you use it, the more it grows. This is some that I harvest for dinner tonight. Thursday we're going to be watching a movie with the kids, and I have some ground beef taco meat that I want to use up, and I'm going to do a leftover makeover and turn it into taco soup. Ken has requested buffalo chicken, so I'm going to make it with chicken breasts and serve it with some fresh fruit. For dinner, we're having some taco soup. I had some leftover ground beef and pico de gallo, and just kind of leftover makeovered it into a new dinner. And then I had some chicken breast that I cooked in some of that Frank's hot sauce in the oven, some celery, ranch dressing, and fruit. Looks pretty good for using scraps of leftovers. Friday, I'm trying a new recipe. It's for broccoli chicken casserole, serving it with salad. I found this recipe on Taste of Home. It's an award-winning broccoli chicken casserole. And you need a box of chicken stuffing, 2 cups of cooked chicken, a cup of frozen broccoli florets thawed, a can of condensed broccoli cheese soup, a cup of shredded cheese. I'm going to double this, and I don't have frozen broccoli, I have fresh broccoli, so I'm going to use that. First thing I need to do is get the chicken stuffing mix prepared. I'm doubling the recipe, so I'm using 2 of these 6-ounce chicken stuffing boxes. I put them in the bowl with 3.5 cups of water, boiling water, covered it with saran wrap, and I'm just going to let this sit. I chopped up some fresh broccoli because I didn't have frozen. I added a little bit of water, put some saran wrap on it, and I microwaved it until it was tender, drained off the water. I have a 13 by 9 inch pan. I'm spraying it with some cooking spray. I have my broccoli and the cooked chicken. I'm going to add these 2 cans of soup mix and get this all mixed together. This is going to be our base layer. So I went ahead and mixed it all together, the soup, the broccoli, the chicken, put it in my pan. Now I'm going to take that stuffing mix and we're going to put this on. I added the stuffing layer. Now I'm going to add the cheese. And the recipe says to bake this covered for 20 minutes and then uncover and bake for another 10 to 15 minutes. Everything's pretty much cooked. I think you're just kind of warming it through. Here's the casserole. It was a big hit with the boys, and I just served it with a very simple salad. I took a few bites of the casserole, and I just didn't think it was worth, for me, the grams of fat and carb. So I ended up making myself an omelet, but the kids and Ken, they ate the casserole, they said it was tasty, and they enjoyed it. So I think I will put this recipe in my recipe book for Thanksgiving, and it needs some tweaking. I'll just put it to you that way. It needs a little tweaking, but I think it would be a good recipe idea. The concept was really good, and at Thanksgiving when you have all of those leftovers, it would make a really good casserole. I think to fix it, I wouldn't use the soup. I would make a white sauce and add some cheese and probably fresh broccoli and then like homemade stuffing. You know, like all the stuff you have pretty much after Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm going to put, liked the concept. Concept needs work. Because I got to make my fat grams and my carbs count. I have to thoroughly enjoy them. Okay, so I'm going to stow it away because I like the idea of it. I've been working on getting some freezer meals done, and I want to make a freezer lasagna using the no-bake noodles. So whatever meat sauce I have left over, I'm just going to serve rigatoni. And it's a little high in smart points, but I'll just watch, you know, earlier in the day, and it'll be a quick and easy dinner. You can see that the lettuce has just gone crazy. It's only been a couple days. So I'm going to harvest some more for dinner, and I'm going to harvest some of this basil and put in my meat sauce because I'm making rigatoni tonight, and I'm also making a lasagna for the freezer. So we're having some rigatoni with the meat sauce, and these are some greens I grew in my arrow garden, and we also grew the basil too. How cool is that? Rigatoni with meat sauce, a simple salad with ranch dressing, Sunday spiral ham, homemade scalloped potatoes. I'll put that link in the show more description box below. Green beans, keeping it simple. Ken is on KP duty. He's reliving his army days. For dinner tonight, we're having a spiral ham with a simple glaze, scalloped potatoes. I'll leave that recipe in the description box, the link, and just some green beans that I sauteed in a little bit of garlic butter. It looks delicious. Super easy dinner. Well, that's our meal plan for this week. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and until the next video, talk to you guys later.